Yo, and welcome to another cast of Age of W, featuring brand new players that I said I would cast again, which you may recognize. In the right-hand side of this hideout, we have, once again, the often duplicated jagguernaut24 playing as the blue Khmer. And on the left-hand side of the map, we have choppa8732 playing as the orange player. Really big missed opportunity for Senor Choppa to play Britons. For some of you who may not know, choppa is the sound that the villagers make when you actually send them to get some wood if they're playing Britons. But this player is playing a cavalry archer civilization as the Magyars, which is really interesting. So expecting some CA to come out in this map. And for Jagguernaut, who's playing Khmer, they have a lot of interesting civ bonuses. One that is probably particularly relevant for this map is the fact that they do not have any building requirements to click up in age. I don't know if that's true for Imperial. It's definitely true for Castle, but I think it's just for either one. And we're playing like a fairly closed map that people tend to boom on or semi-boom on. Like these palisade walls are fairly easy to break down, but still provide some comfort and protection. So we might see that civ bonus civilization tech coming in for Jagguernaut. Magyars, I think, also pretty good for this map because, like, it is a pretty closed map, but it's also like a boom map. And CA, like, I think everybody likes booming on CA, right? Like, nothing wrong with that. A little concerned about Orange's like idle scout and their vision. Like, this scout is doing absolutely nothing. Like, let's get the map scouted. Let's move it along. Well, on the other hand, I think the blue scout for Jagguernaut has actually scouted quite a bit. It looks like the scout is going on auto scout, which, I always encourage to like lower and mid elo players. Like, come on, like if you're not doing anything with the scout, just like, come on, auto scout. It's free. Let's just get it done. Let's get it done with. I already see some really interesting things from an eco perspective from both players. A lot of wood coming in here from the Magyars player, who has only invested in a mill and a lumber camp so far. And sometimes, honestly, when I'm looking at players at this elo, which, by the way, if you don't know, we're talking about these two players around the 700 elo level, that they may not tend to go for like the current meta build. I think I tend to see players like, kind of do, I wouldn't say silly stuff, but things that you don't see at higher elos. Like they research everything. They might have too much wood. They get, I wouldn't say pop capped right now, right? But maybe they're not as efficient as with their economy as they could be. They might like collect stone early, but both players are doing pretty well in terms of their build. I would say that Jagguernaut over here could be clicked up to feudal a little faster. It looks like they're going to be about at least 1 minute late feudal compared to our Magyars player. Like I would like to see a drop off at this point. Also, the wood game, which for some of you who may not know, I did cast Jagguernaut on an Arabia map, and the wood game was popping off for this player. And the wood right now is also popping off for feudal. I mean, we have a lot of people on wood already, and we are still in Dark Age, but I'm expecting the click up to come now. Here we go. As Jagguernaut has about 2 minutes left to go into feudal. Looks like they're going to turtle up a bit by building another palisade gate. Oh, no. Getting the farm? Yes, getting the mill here to get the extra food on the outside, which, as I said, it's Khmer. Don't have any building requirements to go up to castle. So they might be using that. Which means that, like, if you're the orange player, and like I said, I have no idea what their vision is right now. Let's take a look at it. They probably don't even know where blue is. Like, they kind of get the outside wall here. And I'm thinking that if, like, someone wants to go fast castle, that's something that I want to know about, right? But on the other hand, if you have your scout on auto scout, that's great. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with a little bumping and grinding. So yeah, maybe a fast castle coming in. Also, I always think it's like a bit of a weird decision. Like if you're in feudal and you're building a palisade gate over here, like don't you think that maybe this one would be closer to the enemy? You want to build it over here, which I think Jagguernaut does know that they're on the left-hand side, but nothing crazy. Also see the orange player here on the left-hand side doing a little scouting. Maybe caught a little wind of the extra food over here. As I repeat, the wood game is absolutely going nuts for Jagguernaut. Magyar player have about 10 on wood, 11, but it seems like they're peeling off some people from the lumber camp to start building a bit more farms. Looks like the hunt is out and we are transitioning to something else with these villagers over here, which I'm expecting to start putting down farms in the center TC. Jagguernaut making sure that we have enough houses for sure, that we don't get pop capped like our choppa player, who is actually only one villager away from getting pop capped. Both players around the same amount of villager count as we see the second lumber camp come in on the right hand side. So it seems like both players are like not interested in like a hyper aggressive game. Maybe just want to like chill for a bit and go up to castle. Equal balance for both players is like not that great. I think we have like, for example, our Magyar's player like way too much gold. I think if they maybe sell a little bit of that, if they do want to go up to castle faster, they could. Jagguernaut finally balancing the wood out by placing out some farms and also getting eco upgrades, which makes me think now at this point that neither player is that interested in going up to castle super quickly. So it's just going to be maybe like a little chill game. Nothing crazy coming in from either player. They kind of want to get their eco ready before they start moving out and booming with their military. Archery range coming in for the Magyar's player, which I imagine, eventually we're going to be seeing some CA as the castle click in comes in from choppa. And I'm guessing that maybe some cavalry archers might be coming out after that. Jagguernaut continuing to line the outpost with a bunch of houses so that no one will be able to bust through. He's double booked all the way through. And actually like might be a pretty good tactic against cavalry archers, because archers don't do that much damage to buildings because they tend to have high pierce armor, like not the palisades, but everything else. Not 100% sure at this point what is the build for Jagguernaut, because my thinking here is that like, if you end up getting any military units out, in feudal age, you can start building those buildings. Like maybe on the sides over here, you get a barracks, you get an archery range, you get a stable. Might want to clean up the gold collection over here, maybe make it a bit more efficient. And it looks like our Magyar's player is actually thinking the exact same thing, that they want to get this cleaned up on the right-hand side over here. Get some houses just in case the blue player decides to take the longest possible route around the outside to attack them. Another interesting defensive choice. And what? Skirmishers coming in from a single archery range from our orange player. Is that weird? Is it just me that skirmishers are coming out like as we're approaching castle age? And second TC coming out. Also, that's pretty nice. And we're going to move out with skirms, a militia. And do we have a spearman in the mix as well? Yeah, a spearman, and we're gonna move out. So really interesting composition in terms of military. And It's like somebody who has like multiple personality disorder. Like they just can't decide on like what flavor of personality they want to pursue. Not sure if Jagguernaut was able to catch wind of that military walking by. I guess not. The auto scout seems to have revealed most of them. I know they stop. They stop. They take a break. Jagguernaut gets sight of the second TC on the map. 30 seconds away from Castle H from Jagguernaut, and maybe some military buildings coming in over here. Yes, we have the military buildings. We have 1 stable, 2 stable coming in. Production upgrades coming in from our orange player, and bloodlines, which is going to give more HP to stable units coming in as we get some action going on. This little attack coming in maybe from a villager to a scout as Jagguernaut decides he wants to fight. He wants to take out this villager, and orange not reacting very well as the military coming over to help. Like, no, they're gonna let the villagers fend off for themselves. Skirmishers against Khmer is like a super interesting choice. Actually, like skirms are not the best things to fight like cavalry units. As Jagguernaut now does see a little bit of the military here from the purple player, which they see as like mostly skirms, so it would be a good idea to stick on the stable battle elephants. Really, really good choice if you see someone going skirms. Third TC coming in from our orange player as they are going to attempt to boom. And if you look at the villager difference and the TC idle time, even though it's about the same for both players, we do have more villagers now for our choppa player, who is also getting bloodlines, but still has skirmishers in the queue, which, like, this is a really weird military choice to have skirmishers. Like, I'm just wondering, like, what information led them to believe that skirmishers is right for the situation. Like, I would, you think that if you get skirmishers, basically what is going on is, like, your opponent is going archers. Like, that's what I think someone is thinking. But no, I think that we have, like, battle elephants coming in from the blue player. And unless orange is able to get some, like, more pikes or monks in the field, it's going to be maybe a disaster for our orange player because they're not going to have anything to defend themselves. More production upgrades coming in from our orange player. And their economy is popping off. They're at 49 vills. Looks like they're pumping villagers in parallel. Husbandry upgrade coming in from our our orange player, despite the fact so now they're scaling the light cap. They're scaling the light cap. I was gonna dab on them and say, like, not even any stable units on the field, but they're getting a few light caps. So you gotta respect that. I really love the fact that they decided to put exactly the no more and no less than 1 militia on the field. I'm not sure why. Was it a misclick? Who knows? Jagguernaut, 2 more TCs coming in to boost up the production, but we have nobody working on this this TC over here. It's in the works. It's all part of the plan. Don't doubt the Jagguernaut. Another interesting thing in terms of economy difference from both players, which I've already commented this on the previous game, my first game where I was casting Jagguernaut, which was entitled The Notorious WOOD. For those of you who don't know, that spells wood. Is the wood game is once again absolutely popping off for Jagguernaut. We're approaching. Okay, there we go. A little more spend, but we're about at 1,000 wood. Would like to see that spended on more military buildings, a university, or check me out, a market. But anyway, maybe that doesn't need to be fixed. But to be honest, like, I would love to see 2 more stables to make the production for these units, like, better. Something I've noticed from Jagguernaut when they're playing is that, like, they tend to get the military up and rolling, which is, like, by the way, awesome. That's great. But then the TC idle time goes up. Like, the villagers just stop pumping out of the queue. It may not matter because, like I said, the problems here for Jagguernaut, or not Jagguernaut, but our orange player are going to be, like, a lot of problems because we just had Elite Skirm come in And I honestly cannot think of a worse unit to counter these battle elephants other than Elite Skirm. It's like literally the worst unit you can create. And the only person in this military who's like a little bit excited about the fight is this one spearman who I can like no longer see, who has like an attack bonus against the elephant. But everything else, like maybe the scouts do okay, but these skirms, like, man, that is not it. Choppa finally gets the upgrade to pikeman, the castle age pikeman upgrade. So now they know what's going on. Now they have the correct composition coming in. 5 pikes in the queue coming in from our orange player. So they did pick the right counter unit. Battle of Elephants continues streaming out from Jagguernaut. We're going to see the fletching upgrade coming in from Jagguernaut with no archers, no forward towers. Interesting choice. But the attack upgrade did come in for these battle elephants, as the TC keeps popping out from orange. So they did have a bit of a economic moment. Emergency castle coming in from our orange player, which might be a little bit out of range. Man, if they're able to tear down this castle without getting a cancel in from orange, that would be sick. But looks like the blue player is going to attack the villagers first, which that's a good move. I would think at this point, like if you're orange, what you want to do, maybe, and hear me out, is with all that excess wood, you get a little bit of a barrack thing going up on the outside so you can queue up some more pikemen in parallel. Wouldn't mind seeing a monastery as well. Now, here we go. 13 villagers in the queue from Jagguernaut, as they should be able to pretty easily tear down this TC. And despite everything that's going on, like all the good things that Orange had going on about this game, I have to imagine that a GG is going to come in pretty soon, because we're talking about, yeah, this TC goes down, this emergency castle is probably not going to go up, and we only have, what is this, 4 pikemen in the queue coming out from 1 barracks, so not sure if that's going to do the trick. And I have to imagine the GG is going to come in any moment now. I think like one of those like, oh, I should help the castle. Doesn't know whether they're coming or going. Extra barracks going up. That's good. It might be too little, too late. As the population just drops down like almost below the floor for this Choppa player. We're now at like 23 pop compared to Jaggernaut's 81 pop. So that kind of sucks. What do you do from here? I think that what you do is you take all these villagers and you run. You hightail it like all the way to the corner. Or maybe build a defensive castle. Like you don't have a university, so you can't build murder holes. And these Battle of Elephants should be able to eat this castle for dinner. So not sure what that's going to do. I mean, you kind of like end up spending the last of your resources on an emergency castle that can do nothing, because it's like not a good counter to elephants. Seems like there are some more elephants also cleaning up the buildings around here, and this lone pikeman is going to die for their country. You hate to see it. Falls flat on their back and is now going to seep through the floor. So yeah, Jagguernaut even smartly just like attacks the villagers instead, and now is going to be able to take down this castle. Like I said, no university in play. You hate to see the unfinished castle over here at 50%. That's really wild. And Orange did not even recruit the stone from the cancel. So that means that they're not even going to have enough stone to build like a second TC if they want to someone else. And the GG comes in for Choppa. Interesting game. Really, really nice boom coming in from our Orange player, but the skirmisher play was like honestly a bit, some might say genre bending, but like not in a good way, like in a very confusing way. Jagguernaut played really, really, really well. I was going to, dunk on the TC idle time, which is like more than Choppa, but it ended up working out. Would like to see a little bit more spend on the wood, but like, all things considered, it was a fine play. Battle Elephants coming in again to clean up.